Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up Missoula. Good morning, everybody. I got a lot to talk about today. I got some guests from Missoula Aging Services, Senior Core RSVP. They're going to be talking about last year's fire season, and they're going to talk a little bit more about that later in the show. I got Dubbin Stuff. I got some art clips for you guys that will be ending their run this week, as well as a bunch of weather news and other event-related topics on your Missoula's Last Best Morning Show. So let's kick things off with some weather. It's nice this whole week. It's going to be wonderful. 34 degrees currently, 72 degrees, 76 degrees by Thursday, 81 degrees by Friday. Sunny, mostly clear. Saturday, mind you, 20 to 50% chances of showers. I'll double check that this Friday as well, but it's looking like this week is the perfect week to be out and about to do all sorts of things. And I can't wait to be out and about because it'll be a perfect week for the last week of making videos with the kids of the flagship program. So the kids of the flagship program will make their videos, and our after school program, MCAT's movie making camp as well. But I just want to make one more MCAT announcement before I get into some of the news that are related to you guys, is that we're looking for people to take our online survey. So if you are a subscriber to MCAT or Charter Communications or not, we're looking to get feedback from people from the Missoula County to inquire whether they watch MCAT, whether they have access to MCAT, how they get access to MCAT, if they know about MCAT's online service, which provides people the ability to basically click and watch now by going on to MCAT.org. It's that simple and that easy. But the survey is right here. You can take the survey by clicking on here, and you can always click on the cat in our scrolling slideshow on our website if you want to take the survey, and it will take you to a website that goes through the City of Missoula's website. So the City of Missoula powers our survey, so they get some more information, and then as we go into our another 10-15 year agreement with the cable company to determine what MCAT's future is all about. So we'll talk about that and more pretty much as it's ongoing. So let's talk about some news things. Okay, so in news, after 35 years of drinking nudity, debauchery, and tens of thousands of Rocky Mountain oysters, the Testicle Festival is officially done. Of course, I've been there once, and it was basically a local bar in the sticks kind of place up at Rock Creek. Of course, Matt Powers, he took over running the lodge back in 2005. He offered bus shuttle services between the Festival of Missoula to an attempt to reduce drunk driving. But of course, during his tenure there, 2 people were killed and some other injuries during last year's Testicle Festival when a man who has been kicked out of the event put on a shuttle back to Missoula, allegedly grabbed the wheel, causing the Jeep to roll. Donnie Barlow, 36, and 33-year-old Vanessa Anderson, who was also known by her last name, Bat, were killed in the crash. With other incidents such as stabbings, deaths, and other DUI-related crashes and assaults, Mr. Powers decided that this event was too much and enough was enough. Despite deciding to shut it down, Powers said he also has many good memories from the Testicle Festival, most about people that he's met over the years. Of course, I like to use math when I try to equate the kinds of drunkards that are described at these kind of festivals, and I was like, imagine you run a bar, and 1 in 100 people are total jerks. So you have a whole larger scheme with a larger of 100 out of 10,000 people are the jerks, and you put them all together in the same place. The 100 will somehow find each other, and 1 out of those 100 jerks are complete messes. And of course, that's how I use math to do that. But of course, just so you guys know, there's no such thing as cool drinking. It's just drinking. In state news, widespread flooding in and around the highline towns of Chinook to Saco appear to be peaking on Sunday, according to the National Weather Services. But flooded fields, houses, and roads around the Milk River are likely to remain basically around for at least the next 2 weeks. And of course, with temperatures going to highs in the 80 degrees this week, many people of these farming towns are bracing for even more spring runoff. Of course, here's a picture from Larry Mayer from the Billings Gazette, and it kind of shows the cows that are being surrounded by the flood water from the flooding of the Milk River. It's crazy to think about, just kind of seeing all that stuff as well. Of course, the wastewater treatment plants in both Chinook and Harlem have been surrounded by water. But of course, they don't expect any sewage or chemicals to end up leaking out of the facilities, according to officials. The towns of Dodson reached 28.1 feet, just above the moderate flood stage of 28 feet, while in Malta, the river has just barely risen above its flood stage. Officials have already identified the alerts and residents about 30 homes along the river that may need to evacuate during the next few days. The most recent projections of the milk cresting at about 29 feet in Glasgow compared to the recent years, including 2011, that is seen as levels as high as 34 feet. Of course, in national news, we're going to switch gears. If you don't have to worry about flooding, you got to worry about some of your private information getting out there. So Facebook has updated their standards content and releasing the initial guidelines it relies on to make content determinations. Facebook has been hesitant to reveal details of its content review policy in the past, but the company says Tuesday's announcement is part of its promise to do better and be more transparent on how to decide what stays up and what is taken down. The changes have come in weeks after CEO Mark Zuckerberg was grilled on Capitol Hill about Facebook's alleged censorship of conservative viewpoints. The newly released standards are a stark departure from Facebook's prior guidelines, which have been crafted to express the company's values and priorities in a way that did not overwhelm readers. Content is classified into tiers, with Facebook response matching the severity of violations, which includes, like, you can flag people for content that you don't like, and Facebook will review it and determine whether or not it's considered like a hate speech kind of deal. So a lot of times they need to determine what is considered hate speech, something that is just unfavorable versus kind of like the whole idea of freedom of speech. So a lot of times Facebook is kind of looking to be the to legislate what is appropriate information to get released out there and as well. Of course, one of the examples is content that promotes, encourages, coordinates, or provides instructions for eating disorders or self-harm are specifically mentioned in this, and under its harassment section, Facebook says it will not tolerate claims that survivors of traumatic events are paid or employed to mislead people that their own role in this event. Of course, this is an example of many things that Facebook is looking into when it comes to information and information exchange. Of course, that's just a bunch of the whole kind of news and rundown. You can get more information about this on npr.org. Of course, the Senate hearing was also last Tuesday with Mark Zuckerberg as well, talking a little bit more about that. I got some more information later this week for later in today's show, but I want to switch gears and I want to show you a nice little PSA video from Missoula Aging Services about RSVP. And when I come back, I'll have people from the Missoula Aging Service Senior Corps to talk about this.
The 2017 wildfire season in Missoula County was one of the most severe in recent history, and we needed to open up our emergency operations call center to take pressure off 911. We brought in RSVP volunteers that are coordinated through the Missoula Aging Services.
Okay, Rice Bridge is going to be the major concern today.
And had those folks answer phones to provide timely and accurate information to people that were severely impacted by these fires.
Missoula County Fire Information Line, this is Sue. How may I help you?
Well, you know, when there's an emergency like this, you feel somewhat helpless. You don't know what you can do, but you want to do something to help. So when I got the call from RSVP, I thought, you know, this is something that I could really get into.
Once you pass a checkpoint, you're not able to get back in.
For me, it's a way to give back to my friends and neighbors and to the town of Missoula.
And inconspicuous areas.
I mean, we get good training when we come in. Judy or Nick are updating us on what the current fire conditions are. They show us the maps, and we know exactly what's going on, and we can consult our screens.
And so between the computer screen, the whiteboard, and the walls, we've got updated maps, updated air quality, and information that we can have right at our fingertips to answer just about every single question that comes in.
I know that I'm helping. When I answer the phone and I have a person on there who's confused or concerned, I can give them the accurate information and feel like I can calm them down a little bit.
So it gives you a sense of accomplishment. When you go home, you've actually done some good for your community.
People were so appreciative, and the need was acute and urgent. I'm very glad to have been a part of this.
An expansion of the evacuation order zone.
We received a lot of positive feedback from Missoula residents who called the fire information line. They expected a recorded message, but they got an actual person, and that meant a lot to them. Missoula County employees also gave us a lot of positive feedback because they knew where to send people who were asking them questions.
Hi guys, welcome back here. We're here with Judy Douglas and Nancy Silliman, and you guys are here to talk about Senior Corps RSVP. And that was an example of some of the RSVP volunteering that a lot of seniors from Missoula Aging Services do during, let's say, a fire season. So, but it's more than that. What is RSVP?
RSVP is a program. It's a program of Senior Corps, and Senior Corps is sponsored by Missoula Aging Services. And so Senior Corps helps Missoula Aging Services fulfill their mission of promoting the independence, dignity, and health of older adults and those who care for them. So it does that through volunteerism. There are 3 programs of Senior Corps. There's the foster grandparent program, and they tutor children in the schools. And last year we tutored 376 students that were underdeveloping, and we helped them succeed.
That's great.
So yeah, and then we also have a program called Senior Companions. And last year we helped 162 members of our community maintain their independence in their homes through that program. So those 2 programs are very valuable, and so I run the RSVP program, and that is the 3rd part of Senior Corps. And what we do is we partner with about 60 entities in the community. They could be they're not all nonprofits. Some of them are like the police station, and we help them. We recruit volunteers for them so that we can keep them going. And you know, the Senior Corps RSVP program has 2 functions. It's really to get older adults active in the community and active in their lives and feeling part of the community. And it also helps to boost the local community.
Cool.
And yeah.
So Nancy, how long have you been with the RSVP program?
6 years.
You've been there with 6 years, and you've probably done a little bit of everything, right?
I have. I've done short-term commitments and long-term commitments, including this year spending 1 morning a week at the Missoula Interfaith Collaborative, which has Missoula Works, a job search program for people, and Family Promise, where they make provisions for homeless families to have a place to stay and to eat and to spend their days and to prepare for their future. I also volunteer at Porter Middle School Library, and I get my exercise there. And I also volunteer one afternoon a week at Russell School, assisting in a 5th grade classroom.
Great. So we saw you in that video.
Yes, that was a short term.
And you guys were talking about part of the fire season, and you also mentioned that you guys are working with many organizations. And during our pre-interview, you were actually talking about American Red Cross. What can you tell me about your partnership with the American Red Cross?
So this season, in preparation for the fire season, we have the call center ready to go. Now we want to get the shelter situation ready to go, because the Red Cross needs trained volunteers that are vetted and trained before a disaster strikes. So we are helping them. They are holding a training on May 5th, and anybody who would like to be trained for that so that they could be on call, so to speak, in case we have to open a shelter, because shelters are opened at a minute's notice, and we don't have time to vet and train volunteers. So we want to do that before. We want to be prepared.
Right, and I know that Missoula Aging Services is really good about bringing experts down to your guys' facility to talk to members of Missoula Aging Services and the community as well for people of 55 or older specifically. What can you guys tell me about, are there any special courses or special classes that you have to take to be in Senior Corps?
You just have to, the requirements are you have to be 55 or older, and you have to fill out an application, and that's it. And,
wow.
And what I like to do is I like to interview people because there are a lot of jobs out there, and I like to match the person with the perfect job that will enrich their life, and that's the goal.
Perfect. That's simple. You're 55 and older, sign an application. They talk with you, Judy,
yes.
And they're just like, yeah, this would be a good fit for you.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Absolutely.
Was it that easy for you?
It was. I went for the interview and I left with a commitment for 2 mornings a week.
Wow.
6 years ago.
And you love it still?
I do. I like the long term quite a lot. It engages me on a regular basis with society and with life, and it structures my week just enough. It exposes me to time, which I love, with other generations. But the short term suits some other people more so, and I do some of that too. A couple weeks ago, I helped at a Red Cross blood drawing on behalf of RSVP. So I retired from a job, not from society.
So I would like to talk a little bit more about long-term versus short-term.
Okay.
So long-term commitments are weekly commitments, like you show up once a week, and they can add a lot of structure to your week, and a lot of people like those. Other people like to be like notified of upcoming events that need help, and that's the short-term. And I have people on my short-term list, so if I get an opportunity like folding t-shirts for the riverbank run, or collating for a fundraiser, or doing an event like the barbecue for veterans, I send out an explanation of the job through email, and people just sign up or they don't. So it's totally up to you what kind of commitment you would like to.
So yeah, I mean, it's as simple as, just like putting yourself out there, being on there, and then of course being on a call list and be like, hey, if you want to help out with this thing that's happening, great. If you can't, it's no big deal.
Yes, that's right. It's an email list, so we don't call, but we email.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Cool. Of course, where can people find more information about Senior Corps and RSVP?
By calling Missoula Aging Services at 728-7682 and ask for Judy or Laura or Adrian, and we would be happy to match you with your perfect opportunity.
Right. And to find more information about Missoula Aging Services, you go to MissoulaAgingServices.org. You can find all the contacts, all the programs, and more by logging on to this website. All right, guys, is there anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap up? Nothing? I think we're good then. Great. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming down and joining me this morning. We still have a lot more show for you guys, so stay with me. Here is a bunch of programs that are going to be airing on MCAT this week on Channel 189.
Hi everyone, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television, inviting you to this free cycle edition of Out and About. Okay. We need to put a rack on it and a kickstand. If not already, get a rack and a kickstand.
All right, sweet.
And then we'll talk lights and stuff.
Sweet.
Awesome.
but people are beginning to understand and explore, is that around the world, abstraction was met with many different conflicting ideas. O'Keeffe, for instance, and these two Australians were very adamant about creating a specific American modernism, a specific Australian modernism. So that meant that they had to hang on to place. It was high-rise buildings in New York. It was the Sydney Bay Bridge in Australia. These were modern structures. So now you know, I'm looking at a modern painting painted in Australia or the US. And this is what so many people do in contemporary art, is draw on this rich history. And identity is important. Native American artists, African American artists, feminist artists, very few of them let go completely of representation. But it's this beautiful tension that artists love, to sit in a place, to be abstract and represent something powerful at the same time.
Hey guys, welcome back. Now it's time for a little bit of City Council. If you guys are inquiring, it's going to be a short City Council meeting. It was about an hour long, and you guys can check it out online by going to ci.missoula.mt.us. But Ray Atten, Fairview Patty Creek Neighborhood Report, talking about property owned by Mountain Water and is being readjusted and reused by the city, in which Ray, representing the neighborhood, suggests the city should do with this new property. So here's Ray Atten.
Fairview's Patty Canyon Neighborhood Council moves that the present location of the U.S. Forest Service building at Whitaker Park be used for a park-related purpose such as a shelter or park equipment. And this is the location, not necessarily the building. That the building be either removed to a location where it can be used for historical interpretation, or that the building be deconstructed. And that's where we stand at the moment. So.
All right, so the new property is going to be extended into a it's a park. It's a fairly small park, 5 acres long, but it's going to be kind of extended with the Mountain Water Company's park, and they have a little kind of like rangers type station over there as well, but it's kind of unneeded. So a lot of the neighborhood councilors like, we should keep it there for historic reasons, and it should be on like a historic register. So that's what they kind of want the city to move to do, to look forward into in the future as well. Laura Rattlesnake Neighborhood Council Paul Hendricks talks about Prescott School and more. So here is Paul.
Prescott will not be used by the Missoula County Public Schools as a school again, and so once the international school moves out, it'll either be open for leasing or renting for some other user, or it could be sold to a developer. The property apparently is zoned for 16 housing units, and that continues to be a concern for the members of the lower Rattlesnake neighborhood, because we really don't have any other open space or a meeting place. It's also used a lot by the neighborhood children for recreational purposes, so it's something that continues to pop up.
All right, so that was Paul Hendricks, and Prescott School has been definitely under controversy, especially over the last couple of years, with MCPS not moving forward with reopening or renovating the school, as they've been doing with many of their other properties in and around the MCPS area. Of course, some of the citizens think that with the overflow of schools, could have easily opened the school once more, but MCPS officials and CTA contractors had no interest in reviving the school, and they said it would cost more to rebuild a school in that area than to basically remake the schools that they have in a more central location. Of course, also, you got to be bear aware because up the Rattlesnake, there tends to be a bear presence in the area during the springtime and have access to bear. And of course, if you don't have access to bear proofing, Republic Services has bear proofing garbage cans to help people in the area. The bigger things, of course, happening in Lower Rattlesnake areas are the roundabout construction starting in May, and of course, they said they are going to be wrapping up this roundabout in August. So this is the I-90 interchange between Rattlesnake and Van Buren Street. So this is going to be the Van Buren interchange roundabout. So they're going to start construction in May, and they're going to wrap up in August. Of course, here's an interesting proclamation. Brian Van Lossberg, as acting mayor, as the mayor was not in attendance on Monday, is talking about Straw-Free Day, a proclamation to prevent the waste of straws.
Whereas Missoula, Montana recognizes the importance of environmental sustainability, and whereas 500 million disposable straws, a non-essential item, are used in the United States each day, and whereas plastic pollution harms the environment and the wildlife in it, and giving up plastic straws for a greener alternative is an easy way to suck out part of the problem, and whereas young students such as, was that too dry? Whereas young students such as the class of first graders at Sussex School in Missoula are working diligently to bring this issue to the attention of the public and promote sustainability among the people of our state to help shape a better future and to join with others who are already taking vital steps to reduce plastic straw use, such as Seattle, San Francisco, Malibu, and even recently the large business of McDonald's. And whereas the city of Missoula is already taking bold and responsible steps toward zero waste, now therefore the Mayor John Engen, Mayor of the city of Missoula in the state of Montana, hereby recognizes the 4th day of May 2018 as Straw-Free Day.
All right, so that was once again Brian Van Lossberg for the city council acting as mayor that day. Of course, like he mentioned, 500 million straws are used every day, and of course, it's enough disposable straws to fill over 46,400 large school buses per year. In February 2011, Milo, he was then at 9 years old, now he's 16, 17, 18, founded this project to work together with members of the straw industry, restaurants, and other business schools, environmental groups, and considered citizens to reduce the use of waste of disposable plastic straws. And you can find out more information by going to ecofriendly.org. Helen Hollenbach spoke on another proclamation on Better Hearing Month. So here is Helen Hollenbach.
Hearing loss has a profound negative social and interpersonal impact, and I think if we discuss it as often as possible, it becomes less embarrassing, and when things are less embarrassing, people are more willing to seek treatment. So I genuinely appreciate you reading that tonight. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ms.
All right, so I do have a personal story that is relevant to this, and hearing loss is no laughing matter, but apparently it was to my mother against my father, making fun of him for his lack of hearing. But of course, if you have hearing problems or may think you do, get checked. Why not? Even if you don't want to go to the doctor and go through the whole thing, it's like, oh, it's just a huge pain in the butt to just go to the doctor and just to determine whether or not they're going to stick a thing in my ear and do a sound thing, blah, blah, blah. Go online. There's easy hearing checks on YouTube that you can just do a quick thing, and they do like a tone thing, so you can, honestly just Google ear check and just do a little test yourself. And if it comes out that you're a little concerned that you may have done fairly poorly on that on your own, then you guys can go see the doctor and see about an ear specialist. There's many hearing specialists here in Missoula as well that you guys can check in, and it's just something that can help a lot of people with hearing loss. And hearing aids are a trick of their own trait, because my dad has a hearing aid and it has like 5 different frequencies. One's for like loud settings, one's for so you can listen to like electronic digital audio type things like television. And it's just very weird about certain frequencies that have to be adjusted, especially for hearing aids. It's a little more complex. But of course, the human ear is complex in itself. So it's a nice way to get checked, because, hey, it might be just earwax, or it could be just like a growth of skin inside your ear blocking the ear passageway, which can be easily rectified, and your hearing would vastly improve. So you never know. it's just definitely worth a check. And you can find out more information about these topics and more by going to ci.missoula.mt.us. City committee meetings are happening all day today as well, with the budget committee meeting. You got committee of the whole. Last week they had a joint meeting with the county. I do suggest that you guys check that out as well, because they were really talking about the jail diversion policy plan. I wish I would have gotten to it, but I didn't have enough time to do the research to do a follow-up on that as well. But that's pretty much it for all your city council needs and more. If you want to learn more information, like I said, ci.missoula.mt.us. If you want more information about my morning show, you can go to wakeupmissoula.wixsite.com/wakeupmissoula. So nice you made your read out twice. You can also go to mcat.org. This Saturday is our Stop Animation Drop-Ins. Our Saturday afternoon animation drop-ins are 500 different titles for drop-ins for your kids. So if you have a kid between the ages of 9 and 13, every single Saturday until May 26th, you can come on down from 1 to 5 and join us for some stop animation live action video fun with kids. Geared towards kids 9 to 13. So there's been a couple adults to be like, hey, can I do it? I don't know if they're joking, because a couple of them being kind of asking for sure. But of course, once our Saturday drop-ins wrap up, we're going to be start gearing up for summer camps. It seems like every day I've been noticing a new person submitting to the summer camps, so be careful. They fill up quickly. We have a limited space, about 12 kids per camp, just about. But you can always register online at mcat.org. Of course, let's just kind of take a step back and let's enjoy a little fun old movie, The Royal Wedding, from 1951, but I replaced the audio with my voice and some music. So without further ado, here is Dubbin Stuff, and when I come back here, we'll talk about some events that are happening here in Missoula, so stay with me.
Oh, wow. A mural.
Well, maybe someday we'll go to the real place.
You really think so? I think that'll be...
Alright, shut up a second. I gotta go answer this. Hello? Oh, hey, Bill. How's it going? Looks like that time travel experiment worked after all. I'll get you more details later. Bye. Well, good news for us. Our perspective of time is a construct of moving forward.
I like it when you pretend to be smart. Hey, say, let's go for a walk. I think it's a beautiful day outside.
Well, I thought we were gonna stay inside and,
We always stay inside and...
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
What is broken?
Nonsense, my dear. It's perfectly fine.
If you say so.
Now, what in the devil is that? Yes? Well, hello there. I'm here to tell you that I've hit your call. That's wonderful news. I've been waiting for someone to hit my car. Now it's all about collecting the insurance.
I don't really like this guy.
Nothing says insurance fraud like an insurance agent. Look at these gloves. Oh, they're quite nice, huh? I'll just let myself in.
My name is Pam Beauregard III.
I definitely like the Southern accent.
It is pretty good, isn't it?
Like I'm cheating on my wife. This is interesting. Do you know where I could put my hat?
No.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. We don't have bear hooks. Well, no one's perfect after all. Except for me, and that's right. I would have bear hooks. Now you would you? Oh yes, I would have them all over this room. From sea to shining sea. Good for you.
Please excuse me, I gotta alert the media. Hello, New York Times? This man has bear hooks as far as the eye can see.
As you can tell, she's being facetious. One of the many traits of why I married her in the first place. I don't think that's how you pronounce that word. I'm inquiring, what are you doing in this country in the first place? Well, I'll tell you while you stroke that mustache. Pam Beauregard always gets her way. But of course.
No, operator. I was only pretending to call the New York Times. Hold on a second. Looks like my prank got a little too real. Do you mind giving a couple quotes to the New York Times?
Well, you know, I'm supposed to be on vacation. Do you mind giving a quote for me?
All right, if you insist, after all.
Now listen here. Try not to embarrass me, young lady. I've worked really hard for this reputation that you see before you, so quote me right.
Of course, dear. FB, Glitter and Sleaze, 2018.
Huh. Is that what you would say? Well, with more profanity, mind you. Good job, young lady.
I'm just happy to be included.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Pam Beauregard. I must be on my way. Maybe next time you'll have bear racks. Now let's go get this fender bender taken care of. It'll be quite easy. Well, you should have seen the last time she quoted me. Huh, charity? I don't think so. But yeah, I ended up giving it charity. It wasn't that great.
Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk about some events that are happening in and around the city of Missoula. It's time for Missoula Events from MissoulaEvents.net. Wednesday, Parkour Summer Camp is happening this morning, starting basically it's week 3, happening from June 25th to the 29th. This summer, have your kids learn creative movement and have tons of fun with parkour. Rather than having your kids say parkour, and jumping up and down on your couch, you can actually have them do parkour, potentially get bored of it, and never do parkour again. But then there's that one slight 5% that really is into parkour, and then you just running up and off of the walls and everything like that. But, sometimes you just got to roll the dice. Mismo, Missoula Indoor Sports Arena, and Roots Acro Sports Center are all the place to be indoors and play with your kids from about 9:30 a.m. to about noon today. All sorts of fun indoor activities to get your kids physical and doing some fun gymnastics and indoor sports. But of course, it is a nice day outside, so if you guys plan on being out, you guys should be out. Tiny Tales at Missoula Food Bank are starting at 10:30 a.m. Tiny Tales at Empower Place. It is a good way for kids aged birth to 3 years of age to learn 9 new words a day with the power of reading. Paleontology is going to be the science experiment at Spectrum Discovery Center. They have a new one every single day. Special making activity is cardboard fort building. This week's in the makerspace is cardboard creations. Spectrum will feature a scientist each day and will showcase activities related to their field. Scientist of the day is Richard Leakey. So at noon today, as well as Communication Practice Group, Jeanette Rankin Peace Center teaches people how to communicate well with others every second and fourth Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. and is at the Jeanette Rankin Peace Center, 519 South Higgins in Missoula. It's at their Olive Branch area right next to the Hobnob, and I believe it's also next to where the old Crystal Theater is. Scrabble and Bridge is at 12:30-ish at Missoula Senior Center. Missoula Senior Center is your place to do some card games, hang out, have lunch, and just meet other seniors, and also have the best dance floor in Missoula. National Poetry Month series, Express to Speak with Taj Killen, happen at 3:30 this afternoon in the Missoula Public Library. And as part of the Missoula Public Library celebration of National Poetry Month, local poet, musician, and performance artist Taj will present a workshop, Express to Speak, to MPL's 2 young youth writing groups, including Middle School Writers Group, along with youth in Missoula who have been interested in the spoken word poetry slam. Book club. I don't know, I said broke. So, book club and movie night with John Baldessari is going to be at the Missoula Art Museum. More Than You Wanted to Know About John, Volume 1, edited by Meg Cranston and Hans-Ulrich Oberst. Ooh, that was weird. Start the evening off with popcorn and a few informal selections of performances and pieces, interviews, and films by or about John Baldessari, including the Tom Waits narrative short, A Brief History of John as well. So you can do that at the Missoula Art Museum. Or if you're a woman, you can do women's comedy workshop and happy hour at the Badlander. For women and non-binary folks alike, a place to talk about comedy and stand-up, you can go to the Badlander. It's the last Wednesday of the month for about an hour of women talking about women in comedy. So yeah, that's happening. I mean, they have more information about this as well, but I'm just going to give you the skinny. But of course, Revival stand-up comedy mic night is also happening at the Badlanders tonight at 7:30. So if you want to do the women's comedy workshop hour to get talked up into doing some stand-up comedy, oh geez. I'm going to wrap this up really quickly so I can cough. So come to Missoula Stand-Up Comics to try their best to make you laugh or get on stage yourself and try your own jokes, all at the Badlander every last Wednesday of the month. It is free. Sign-ups start at 7 p.m. and stand-up starts at 7:30 p.m. Comics ages 18 and up are welcome. But by 9 o'clock, if you're not 21 and over, they'll kick you out. American Idiot is still playing at the UM Montana Theater at the Par TV building and is based on the album by Green Day. So here are some of your late night events happening for your Friday night, for your Wednesday night. Ooh, I have the Friday on the brain already. Tech 9, the Wilma. Trivia is going to be at the Press Box and at Silver Slipper. Rocking Karaoke is going to be at the Dark Horse. Craptastic Karaoke will be at the Badlander starting at 10 p.m. tonight as well. So before I die from lack of oxygen, here is an art clip at the Missoula Art Museum. So stay with me. Hey guys, welcome back. Now it's time for all your Thursday events. Kicking off your Thursday is Family Fun Time at the Y, starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. We believe that families need a place to play together. Family Fun Time at the Y provides an indoor, all-weather place to play where parents are welcome to join in the fun. And this happens Tuesdays, Thursdays, 9 a.m. to about 12. And of course, they have an afternoon deal on Friday, and they also have a long Family Fun Time at the Y on Saturdays. Tiny Tales is also happening in the Missoula Public Library at 10:30 a.m. at the Missoula Public Library on Thursday. And of course, if you're interested in marketing, University of Montana Gallagher Business Building hosts a marketing boot camp. So let's say you have a business, or you have an online business is like, okay, I just kind of started this thing, but I really want to make it professional. So this is a good way for people to get more information about this as well. No exercise is required for this particular boot camp. The Inbound Marketing Boot Camp will teach business owners and market professionals how to grow your business faster than the competition. If traditional marketing is less effective, what you can do instead. Inbound marketing is a strategy known best for its lower the costs of leads, and inbound leads are 4 times likely close than leads from other sources, including digital advertising. So it's just a good way. It's another example of just like marketing and selling crap. Yep. Food Art Fever, Zootown Arts Community Center is hosting a spring into warmer weather and drizzly days with artistic tasty treats. Of course, this week's going to be really nice, so they didn't really advertise for the drizzly weather. Together, they will create both edible and inedible masterpieces. Students will have the blast exploring no bank recipes, ceramic painting, and sculptured treats. So the whole idea is that you play with your food, then you eat it. Zootown Arts Community Center, starting this afternoon, Thursday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. 2:30 is usually associated with early out at the school, so it's a good way to get out of school and go there. Back-to-back open figure. Missoula Fine Arts Studio is doing open figure drawing from 4 to 6 p.m. or 6 to 8 p.m., $12 each, to help pay for the person who is willing to be nude for your open figure drawing. You must be 18 years or older. You're welcome to bring pastels, paints, or your medium of choice. Suicide prevention information, QPR, question, persuade, refer. St. Patrick Hospital is hosting one of these instructors, Travis and Heidi, who will show you to tell if someone is feeling suicidal and how to get them help, and is free and open to the public. And QPR training is a relatively new approach at finding to help prevent suicides. And of course, Montana has one of the highest suicide rates in the country, and they only have one suicide officer based out of Helena, Montana, but they're hopefully training more and more people to get more on this as well, because suicide prevention, getting paid for suicide prevention is very small compared to the people who would be able to have these QPR classes. Think about it as a CPR classes, but with suicide prevention rather than helping people who need CPR. So QPR, question, persuade, refer. LunaFest, silent auction starting at 6 p.m. at the Wilma. LunaFest is a nationally touring film festival that showcases short films by, for, and about women, is back again with 9 exceptional short films ranging from animation to fictional drama and covering topics such as women's health, motherhood, body image, aging, culture, diversity, and breaking barriers. And this starts at 6 p.m. I'm assuming the films will start around 7 p.m., but they're going to have silent auctions and more, all at the Wilma. Helping your child cope with anxieties. So, kids have anxieties. Kids are going through hormone changes. Kids are developing, and Families First Children's Museum is hosting a educational workshop at Rattlesnake Elementary School. Children worry, some more than others. Learn techniques to help ease your child's anxieties and fears of things such as spiders, going to a new school, or separation. These learned coping skills may help your child navigate many of life's stresses. This class is free and open to the public, and free childcare is provided if you are bringing your child with you. And you can register at MissoulaClasses.com. For more information, go to MissoulaEvents.net, or you go to Families First Children's Museum. Of course, your Thursday night events are happening. Once again, I want to remind you, American Idiot is playing at the Montana Theater, and a couple of my kids from our summer camps here at MCAT is the star. I don't want to name drop, so I won't. All right, so anyways, Missoula Open Decks DJ dance parties at Old Beck VFW. Caravan of Glam with the Cigarette Girls Burlesque show is going to be at Monk's, happening Thursday night. Rockin' Karaoke is going to be at the Dark Horse. all happening Thursday night. A bunch of this and more if you go to MissoulaEvents.net. MissoulaEvents.net. Hey, what's happening here in Missoula? There it is. This is it. Go to MissoulaEvents.net. But of course, if you want to find out events that are happening at the University of Montana, you can go to umt.edu/events. I can also go to there as well to kind of show you where you can find out more information, because this is a college town. And what better place to do things than at a college? So they always tell you a bunch of events. They have a very weird event system, because when I type in events and whatnot, they always bring you to the events from February. It's just like, come on, guys. Just do more. So, of course, it looks like they have a bunch of seminars. They have seminar with Brett Addis. They have conservative social science seminar. They have a Mandy Slate, interdisciplinary science building, Quidditch tournament. What do you know? Masters of Science, and of course the Global Public Health Series, which they host at the UM Skelliger Business Building from 6:30 to 7:45. MCAT will be there filming it we've always been filming it. Honestly, there's no reason. If people ask MCAT to film something, we will initially film it, but you must represent a nonprofit. If you are interested in having MCAT filming your event and rally, cause, concert, and more, you must be a nonprofit or civic group here in the city of Missoula, and you must go to our website, mcat.org, go to more. How do I request? You have to go to more, request event recording, to find out more information. So it'll tell you exactly what you need to know about what it takes to be recorded by MCAT. You can call us at 542-6228 for more questions, or you can email us mcat@mcat.org. That about does it for my morning show, and I'm about done for most of the day. So thanks for joining me, and for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Scott Ramp. Have a great couple days. I'll have your weather report and more this Friday along with Flagship Friday. So see you then.